Okay, I'm going to attempt to show you how to rebuild the socket for a panel lamp. I got this technique from an article written by Ron Ramirez on philcoradio.com in the tech section. It's a very good article and it works very well, and I'm going to show you how it's done. I'm just going to tape the old bulb out. Oh, this came out very easily. Take this apart. Usually there's a rubber jacket surrounding the wire, and it doesn't always come out this easily. And it's usually pretty degraded, so it's best just to get rid of it. And get rid of all this rubber boot. Sometimes it comes off easy, sometimes you got to work with it a little bit. Okay, now what we're left with is a spring. We want to keep that for later. And there's one other part we want to keep. It's this little rivet inside here. So I get this rubber boot off of here. And this one's being a little stubborn. Alright. Discard the rest of that rubber. Get off as much of that as I can. And we have a little rivet, okay, that the wire goes into the rear of. And we're gonna put the new wire into it. If I can pick it up. Okay, I'm gonna put the rivet into my little helping hands here. And I'm gonna remove the old wire. It's nice to leave a little stub of wire on the end so you have something to hold on to. Okay. And I'm going to put the new wire in. I've already tinned the end of this wire. And I've cut it a little oversized in length so I have plenty of room to move. Feed that through. Cool off. And I'm going to cut away the excess here. A little fumbly today. And what we want to wind up with is a little bead of solder on the end of it. Just a little dome. And you can play with this as much as you want and finesse it. I'm going to add a little bit of solder here. Okay. And let me see what we have. And that's pretty close to what you want to see. You want a little dome of solder like that. And I like to take a little bit of sandpaper, or you can use a small file, and just kind of get rid of any of the leftover rubber, and just kind of clean it up a little bit and finesse it. So you wind up with something like that. Next step is to take a piece of heat shrink tubing, and in his article Ron uses 1/4 inch diameter tubing. I found that that's a little wide for me. My tubing does not shrink enough, so just use whatever you have, and I'm using 1/8 inch tubing, so that seems to work for me better. Use whatever works for you. I slide the tubing on the end. And I'm going to go into my garage and use a heat gun on this to shrink it down. And I'm going to do it outside so I don't melt anything down or burn anything up, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and this is what it looks like. Nice shrunk, nice tight fit around that. It protects the, it insulates the end of that rivet so it won't be touching the case. And the next step is to slide on a nylon washer. And these are the same ones that Ron used in his article. I tried, these are number 6 washer. I tried to find these locally in a hardware store, and all they had was number 8s, and they were very thin, and the 8s were too big. So I went ahead and ordered the same one that Ron used from Mauser, and they work very well. They're very inexpensive, and they ship very quickly. So if you can't find them locally, order them from them. You can find the part number in Ron's article on philcoradio.com. Slide that in, get it snug, and we'll start assembling it again. I'll take the spring that we saved, and the socket. And there you have your repair. The washer keeps everything centered and keeps it insulated from the side. It's a looser fit than you had originally, but once you put a bulb in, like this, everything snugs up very well. And you have a brand new, or virtually new socket. Once again, many thanks to Ron Ramirez's article. It's a very good technique, it works very well, and it's fairly easy to do.